Somebody's in the stream here. Drew got in. Hey, it was Drew's suggestion that we do some live streaming here. Whoa, there we go. What's up, Devin? STNR. Cindy, how are you doing? Any good news? There's some good news out there, Cindy. I threw some in my video today, but I'll be happy to show you some of that. Bottle Share, Bunny, VJN, how you doing? VJN, I'm sure I'm slaughtering your name, friend. It's a beautiful name, though. Arumugam. I wish you were on so you could tell me how to pronounce it, but I like it. Gilbert, Demo, Jada, Demo, Jodo. Jado. I'm blowing this whole thing. Fatal Shark, Peter Murphy, Red Sox, man. How you doing tonight? Demo is first. Awesome. Yeah, so what's going on, you guys? I've got about 30 minutes, and I thought I would just jump on and kind of get a feel for the pulse of what's going on. I caught a little bit of Cuffin' the Dips show with Justin Man and Vern on there, and I kind of caught it towards the end, and they were obviously feeling kind of tired. But hey, Kings, how you doing, man? I should send you a link. You should jump in here. You want in? Let me... do I even know how to get a link? I'm like the worst streaming person in the history of mankind. I've definitely invited people before. Let's see here. Where is my... Okay, hang on one second, you guys. We're going to see if we can get King's broadcast in here. The problem I'm going to run into here is, there it is. All right, I've got the link. Let me get King's broadcast in here really quick. Okay, I'm almost done, folks. Okay. So we'll have King in here pretty quick. Hope it dips more so I can buy some more. All right, guys, I'm sorry I've missed a ton of chat stuff already, but get some hodling going on. Yeah, this is pretty disturbing tonight, man. This deal, I was out to dinner with some friends, and when we got done with dinner, I looked at my phone and I was like, what in the heck is going on? Especially on a day where we knew you've got a bunch of good news that came out. So we'll pull up some of that good news for those of you who haven't seen it. I did see one there, this HODL Yoda. Can I create an Excel calculator for staking rewards? I actually have one put together for the Cytomask, but my interpretation of the way the dynamic staking was going to work isn't lining up with what Max talked about in an interview that he did with a guy named Scott Herman. So it's a good send it to your Twitter. Did I not send it to you, King? Check your DMs. Yeah, it should be in your DM. But yeah, that my vision of how it was going to work wasn't it just wasn't lining up with what Max was saying. So I actually did some discussion with Scott in his comments, and he said that he was going to they were actually going to do another interview to clarify what they had talked about there. So Okay. Let's see what else is going on here. Do I think Bitmart will have plenty of Saitama tokens stored away from the hot wallet? Do they? Yeah. So my understanding, this is not me again, is that they are going to have to. I mean, it's a centralized exchange, so you aren't actually holding tokens. They have a liquidity pool of tokens, and you're basically buying in and out of that pool when you buy. So they're kind of holding the tokens in a fiduciary type um, way, if you will. And I think they have to buy it all back. That's my understanding. And they may even have insurance for these kind of losses. So it's going to be crazy what happens. Hey, all right, you've got King's broadcast in the background. Let me pop him in here. And I may have to see if I can. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hear him. You can hear me? Can I hear you?
I hope you can hear me.
All right, we're in, man. How you been?
I've been extremely busy. There's been a lot going on in life. Obviously, I've been away from the live streams a little bit, but I've been working in the back scenes with a few tokens, kind of like as an advisor, working on a smart contract myself, but also trying to stay up to date with the market and everything.
So you're talking about maybe like making your own token? Is that what you're saying?
Eventually, yeah, definitely.
And you're brave. That's something I want absolutely nothing to do with.
Yeah,
It
what's
just
going
looks
on,
like
Nick?
so much work, you know?
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. So, but I've been doing a lot of other stuff as of lately, but then been busy with the kids and family and stuff like that. I had to catch back up because doing this content and everything and being involved with everything so deeply, it takes a lot of time away from the family.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, it's kind of interesting when people want you to make another video or do one more thing. I mean, to make a 15-minute video for me usually takes between 45 minutes and an hour because you have pre-show prep, then you have to shoot the video. I do a little bit of editing, but I don't do a whole lot. It's not my, I'm not too worried about the overall production quality. So it's just, there's only so much you can do in a day. So
Yeah, it truly is. Yeah, I was actually I was out to dinner with my father-in-law, my wife, and the kids when somebody had texted me like, "Have you seen what happened to Saitama's chart?" I'm like, "No." And I popped in there and I was like, "Holy crap! It looks like it did a few weeks ago."
yeah, it really, I mean, kind of brutal right
Yeah,
now. It was just, I mean, that's a massive monster dip right there. And I mean, it's almost at one point there, it's pretty close to a 40% sell off. And so, I mean, where we've already taken a beating over the last 3 weeks, this is kind of the last thing that I wanted to see. But it's good that there's a real concrete explanation and that explanation has a resolution to it. So at least for that, I'm grateful right now.
I'm not gonna lie. So I had my long-term bag all set, ready, just waiting for Cytomass to drop so I can stake it. And I actually took this opportunity to, buy a little more into that long-term bag and put it in there since it was on super, super discount today.
Yeah.
So,
Well, if I would have had any cash on hand, and then I've been having really strange issues trying to buy and sell through Uniswap with my Coinbase wallet. And part of it is just like the gas fees are totally out of control. But also, even when I have plenty of Ethereum on hand, I'll have transactions that just spin and then they fail and it says verify in your Coinbase wallet. And I go back, there's nothing to verify. I used to think I was smarter and now I'm kind of realizing that's not the case so much anymore.
yeah, I actually swapped out some of another token. To be honest with you, I wanted to buy a little bit more. I think I maybe had like 0.2 ETH in my one wallet because like I keep most of my funds now on a ledger.
Yeah.
But like I can call it my play money or quick money, like make quick moves is on my phone, obviously. And I had a little project I had bought into the other day. So I took the profits actually out of there and I was able to get like it was like 100 billion. I literally paid like 0.7 ETH for
Oh my gosh.
it. So I was pretty happy about that. So I got
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Well, that's been kind of the Achilles heel for the last 2 months with the ERC20 tokens. Is it's just really, really difficult to get in and out of them. So I've been looking more at centralized exchanges. Of course, I want to use the CytoMask wallet when it comes out and get my coins staked. There's a lot of I have a lot of confusion, if I'm just being totally honest, about what's going on with the staking rewards. And there are comments that have talked about it, where in a conversation that Max Hernandez, he's the CytoMask developer, had with a guy named Scott Herman, they were going through it, and I thought that they misspoke because they were talking about 2% and that you actually could make more if you restake every month.
Yep.
And I'm like, it just doesn't seem right. Why would you ask somebody to commit to 6 months and give them a lower return than if they were restaking? They're saying, well, because it's extra work. It isn't that much extra work. We all have a calendar on our phone. To me, I still want to see. And Scott, I talked to him in the comments of the video, and he said that they're actually going to do another one of those to clarify, because there were a lot of people that came away kind of feeling like maybe they just didn't quite understand it or how it all lines up. So I'm not that worried about it. I mean, the staking, from what I understand, isn't even going to be available day one when the wallet launches. So it will all work itself out. But
I think what people need to realize and prepare themselves for is, we've kind of learned, over the months and over the years, to be honest, even before crypto, the whole buy the rumor, sell the news. That's what a lot of these big whales live by. That's how they operate. That's how they move with every project. And when it comes to the wallet CytoMask being dropped, I want people to look at it as like kind of what happened with Shiba Swap. People were getting frustrated because they were waiting for so long. It was getting delayed. And then when it finally did drop, people, I think a lot of people, especially retail investors, expected like this thing to just go skyrocket and go crazy overnight. But I want people to realize is that when CytoMask gets here, it is revolutionary. It does have a huge platform that's always going to continue to grow and get bigger and get better. But when it comes to platforms like this, we have to give them time to grow.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I was part of that too. I'm gonna respond to that. But before I do, I want to respond to a quick question that I saw from William Friley, who just says Bitmart won't allow them to sell or transfer out. You're right. They're not going to allow you to sell or transfer out. They've kind of put a freeze on money going out so they can correct the situation that's going on, William. So you're going to have some patience on that one for just a minute. I think once they figure everything out, they'll open it back up. And I actually have some Saitama on Bitmart, a really small amount that I bought as a tutorial, and it's still there. So I don't know exactly how it affected the wallets. It might have been just certain ones attached to certain liquidity pools, but that should get resolved in the next day or two. Also, I want to kick a shout out real quick to one of my friends in the chat here, Rick Mason. Rick Mason was one of the very first subscribers to the Saitama Stacker channel, and Rick's a good guy. We had a pretty good conversation tonight in the notes from one of the shows. But so Saitama, I'm going to go back to that now, circle back around. When Shiba Swap launched, you're right. It was like, hey, Shiba Swap's going to drop. And everybody was like, is it going to happen? When's it going to happen? And I was waiting, man. I could not wait because they did a 10x rewards deal when they launched it. So if you stake,
and that was for like the first week or 10 days or 2 weeks. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, it was like the first 10 days, I think. And so, but they were saying it was going to drop. And then all the YouTube content creators were like, it's coming tomorrow. I bet it's coming tomorrow. It's coming tomorrow. It's coming tomorrow. Pretty soon, everybody was like, this is going to be a rug pull. It's very similar to the feeling that we have with the CytoMask. But we knew that the Shiba Swap was going through a CertiK audit, and CertiK actually screwed the SHIB army. They put out a tweet that was like, tomorrow we're doing an AMA with S blank, 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 blank. and it was just enough blanks that you could get Shiba in there, and it turned out to be a whole other project. So it was like they were teasing the community, and people were pretty ticked off about that. But it finally came through, and quite frankly, the price didn't skyrocket of the coin. It took 90 days before that really came through with the big jump that they had here recently. So,
well, it's just like if you look back at the history of those type of platforms, you look at Uniswap, you look at PancakeSwap, Sushi Swap. It took, I think, a good 6 to 9 months before those platforms actually you've seen some significant increase, especially in the token, behind it. So I'll be honest with you, one of the reasons I've been kind of staying away from the lives is because I came across a little birdie who actually told me the partnership that is coming for Saitama. and I put a little tweet out there, like a little GIF, and I think I had every developer in my DMs and a couple certified, verified accounts from this thing that's coming to Saitama, talking about like, we know but please just keep it under the wraps because it could cause some trouble.
oh wow, man, you got more time to research than I do. I don't know. I'm kind of living by the I'll believe it when I see it, but there are certain things that I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I believe it. Like people are saying Cytomask, I'll believe it when I see it. I'm telling you, Certic is like the king of kings when it comes to doing these audits. So they're not going to do us a solid and just say, yeah, we're reviewing this Cytomask if they're not doing it. So
no, and what people need to realize, it's not like a token audit. A token audit, they can get pretty in there pretty quick and out pretty quick. This is something totally different. This is going to platform that's going to have literally billions and billions of dollars on it over time, and billions and billion dollars of volume, I would say, daily eventually. So security's got to be just crazy when it comes to this, especially when you're talking about that type of money.
Yeah, it's going to be big money. I mean, look at the volume we're doing right now, just in our project alone, like 108 million in volume today. That's a massive amount of volume. I think there was a new stealth platform that we launched on this week. It's a centralized exchange, stealth.io. And I think their daily volume is like 300 million for the exchange. Saitama did 108 million in volume today. So
I can't even imagine what they're paying for this Certec audit, because I've been talking to the Certec people myself, and I'll let you know this: it's $30,000 to have an audit conducted on a token. So I can't imagine what the bill is on this type of platform.
Well, it's going to be big. I think it's going to be big. There's some huge things happen. You look at what they're doing. I mean, I'm sure they paid more than $30,000 to put a hat on that boxer that weighed in today, Gervonta Davis.
I guarantee they did.
Especially, I mean, we're listed as one of the sponsors for the whole event. So it's going to be, I think there's some big things coming for Saitama. It's just, I kind of dropped a video yesterday talking about what has Saitama accomplished, because since the Cytomask launch, really, there's a lot of negative out there, and it's a small percentage of the total comments, but there's a lot of people saying Saitama hasn't done anything. They've never accomplished anything. There's comments in this stream right now that I just saw that are like, it's all promises and nothing delivered.
And I'll be honest with you, I've been in Saitama since 700 holders.
Wow.
I've been here the whole time. I've supported Saitama the whole time. I still do. I still hold Saitama. As an investor, I invest 3 different ways when it comes to a project. I have my short term, my mid term, and my long term. And it's always benefited me when I do it that way. But I'll be honest with you, the one thing Saitama has been amazing at, and we're so lucky. Russ, I love Russ. I've had him on my channel. I've had Max on my channel. They're great guys. Mike's been on my channel. Like, these are great individuals. But how important is Aaron to the team? This guy is a marketing master. And I'll be honest with you, we know in crypto, you have to, in order to see, price increase, and you want to see that to the moon, it starts with marketing and trying to, cause that hype in a project. For people out there that I hear it all the time, like, is this real? Is Cytomask really real? Like, I truly know it is. I believe it is, but I think we just got to prepare people so we don't end up with a situation. Because I was in Vegas. I had a great time down there. I got to meet a lot of people. I finally got to meet my boy Hip Hop Gamer, who I talk to like every single day. So that was a great time. I'm actually going to go out to New York here in a couple weeks. Me and him got some things going on, but it was an amazing time. I understand where some of the people had an issue with it because, the QR codes were there, the scanning thing. But you know what? In life, we're human. You don't make always the best choices, or you make a mistake. It happens in business. It happens in personal life. But we do have a great team behind us. Like, Saitama's got one of the greatest teams behind it in all of crypto. And, people just need to prepare themselves. Like, this platform is coming out, and when it does, it's going to just be like when Saitama first launched. It's a baby. It's going to take time to grow. I think, we hear all these different things that are coming to it, but, people just need to realize that the educational part, the NFT part, the gaming part, all that's going to come in due time. You have to do these things the right way because, like, I'll be honest with you, in crypto, you only really get one chance.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't come through, if you really blow it, you're done. That's one of the reasons why, again, for one, I think there's a crazy amount of crypto projects already, but for two, I mean, I just don't know how much work would have to go into marketing things and pushing things forward to the point that this project is currently. And that was the video I did yesterday. It's a 4 in 1,000 chance of achieving the level of market cap that we have right now. So 4 out of 1,000 projects that launch could possibly get into that top 60 range of coins. And so you can't say they haven't done anything. They got the coin up to, at one point, almost $4 billion of market cap, 6 billion, maybe even.
I think what was fully diluted or diluted, I can't remember. Was it like 17? I think
Friday? Well, here's a funny thing. Let me show you a little trick here. I'm gonna share my screen again. Am I already sharing? No, I'm not sharing my screen. I just need to do this. I'm gonna get this one of these days, you guys. I am sharing. All right. Amazing. I'm getting better. So I actually have all the records of all of that because I've been keeping it forever. So here you go, right there. 11/12, right before the Cytomask launch, 6.3 billion. We would have been ranked 38th of all cryptocurrencies, which shows you how far we've fallen. I mean, that's a 66% decline to where today's market cap is. But that's artificially low because of this hack job that happened tonight. And so it's just, it's just a question, I think, of patience, letting the development team do what they're going to do. The Saitama or the Shiba Inu project, they launched their wallet and they have very good people. I don't know who Satoshi Kusama is, but he's obviously very smart. He's got some power. He's got some people around him to do all the stuff that they've been able to put together. But they launched their wallet in June. That's 10 months after the project started. We're 6 months after this project started, and these guys didn't start this project. So,
well, he's asking, what's my Twitter? It's the same thing you see on the screen on all my platforms. Is Kings_broadcast. I see somebody was asking.
Let's look through these comments.
Yeah, when is the Lily token going on pre-sale? I looked at their website the other day, and I don't think there's an exact date.
Well, I don't think they can really make that determination until they know when the Cytomask is going to launch. And I'm sure once the CertiK audit comes through, then we'll actually get a launch date. It's not going to be like the CertiK audit is complete and the Cytomask launches right that next second. They're going to say, okay, we've got the approval. our plan is to drop it on this particular date. And I don't see any reason to be like the very first person to get your tokens on there or link your wallet and get staked. I mean, there's no, from what I can see so far anyway, there isn't any incentive. Like Shiba Inu had this 10x rewards for the first 10 days. I haven't seen anything like that coming, but I mean, it should be pretty straightforward. Once they get the approval, they can talk about it. They'll schedule a date for the launch and go forward.
I see Rick Mason. You're asking how to get hold of Russ. Well, if you don't have his personal number, the easiest way that I found out to get a hold of Russ is on Telegram. And if you don't have his actual Telegram tag, what you do is go into the Saitama official Saitama Telegram and go click the upper right Saitama logo, and it'll have everybody on there, and find Russ's Telegram name and send him a message. He's really good at getting back to people. It might be a day or two, but he'll get back to you eventually.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I've made like 110 Saitama videos. I've never spoken to Russ. But the reason I haven't, I have had avenues and people reach out to me and say, you could get him on your channel by doing this, by talking to this person. And he's been on so many other channels that I don't have any new questions. So other than just trying to shill myself and get some street cred and, you know, maybe more views, I'd rather him just be working on whatever it is he's working on. But yeah, I know the Telegram, it's not just with Russell, but lots of the developers are in there. So you can reach out to more than one. I mean, you actually mentioned Aaron. Steve at Rocket Crypto is a wealth of knowledge. You could reach out to any of those folks and probably get the answer to the same question.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, as a content creator, like obviously my platform, everybody's platform is different. You know, I talk about, you know, I have a certain criteria that tokens have to meet, but, you know, I talk about obviously the tokens I'm invested in, you know, and have, you know, AMAs with all the developers. But somebody asked you, where was it? How long will Lily be exclusive to Cytomask for? Being locked to one place can't be good or great for its future, as good as Cytomask is. That's a good thing to think about.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be a long-term exclusive thing. It's kind of an interesting token, at least the company behind the token, what they're trying to accomplish. I'm not really sure, honestly, how that's going to play out. And I've thought about making videos for tokens that are going to be on Cytomask, but I'm not going to do it until I know exactly what they are. We saw there was, you know, a few that looked like they're going to be on there and they no longer even exist. So
I will say this. Now, if I was Lily, and this is my own personal opinion, if I was Lily Finance and I was going to be exclusively on Cytomask, I think as a company, maybe, you know, they might already talked to Russ and the whole team and Max and all those guys. And with Cytochain coming out in 2023, according to them, we might see Lily transition to, you know, building something on Cytochain, on the blockchain. You just never know. And then at that point, obviously, they would have a lot more freedom to do a lot more things.
Yeah, and the blockchains are going to be used for more and more functions. Right now, we're seeing a lot of like coins and NFTs and things like that. But blockchain technology can be used for all kinds of things, storage and encryption of data. And when it comes to the medical field, which is what I work in, I manage a medical clinic and I'm working on a real estate development right now. But if they could figure out a way to put the patient in charge of all the patient's records. So for instance, if you had a wallet, kind of like your Coinbase wallet or your Cytomask wallet, where we keep our tokens, if your medical records were held on a blockchain that were linked to your wallet, and you could walk into a doctor's office and they had a QR code and you could scan it and send all your medical records immediately. And when you were done, their system automatically uploaded the updates to what you're talking to them about. So you were in charge of it and had control. It would be huge if they could do something like that.
I saw the person. So the person that was looking to get a hold of Russ on Telegram, like I said, it's the easiest way. It's at Crypto Guru 0101. Again, at Crypto Guru 0101. So you can just even bypass the official Telegram.
Hey, Adam Rhodes is in the stream. Adam, I was worried about you, man. I haven't seen you for a couple of weeks. So I hope you're doing well. And I'm glad you caught us here on the stream. There was one of the, somebody was spamming pretty hard in the comments about what happens if Gervonta Davis loses the fight tomorrow. I'm not too concerned about that. I think it's good publicity one way or the other. It's a huge prize fight. The guy is an absolute beast. I knew nothing about him 2 days ago. I really didn't. I mean, I like boxing and I like MMA. I've watched tons of fights. I know some of the big MMA fighters, but I'm not as in touch with boxing. When I started researching this guy and watching videos, he is absolutely a beast. He's not a, I mean, these are smaller guys, like 140 pounds, but he hits like a ton of bricks, and he is just 24 knockouts in 25 fights. It's going to be amazing tomorrow.
Somebody said, Basic Review said, that's private info, Dean. How would they manage that on a blockchain? I don't know. I can't remember what you would say.
Oh, they're talking about medical records. So the information is private right now, right? I mean, you can use blockchain for storage. It would just be a way of using private keys that would allow the doctor's office to open your medical record and send it back to you encrypted. That's linked to your own private keys. Truthfully, I don't have a solution for that. I'm just telling you, if somebody comes up with something like that, and blockchain would be the underlying technology that you could use to do a project like that, it would just be crazy. Because right now, I don't know how encrypted faxes are, but that's what we do now. We fax stuff back and forth, or we put it in a big ass envelope and we mail it through the US Postal Service, That's not all that.
I want to give a shout out to somebody that just came in your chat. Everybody that's in the live chat that's watching, show some love to Saitama Father. A lot of people don't know who he is, but he is the man responsible for bringing Willie D to Saitama, Sticky Fingers, Juicy J. He is the man that brought them to the table and made all that happen. He's become like a brother to me as over the last about a month, and he's a really good guy, and he has done a lot for this community behind the scenes.
Hey, that's cool. And Saitama Father, if you've got Willie D's ear, and the dev team for that matter, I would love to get an update on how that NFT projects are going. Because Willie D, that's what he was brought on to do, was to work with, the NFT side of the Saitama business. And we haven't had a big update on that for quite some time. So I would love to hear about that. Also, the BlazeFire Games situation. I'd like to know.
Speaking of BlazeFire Games, I have lunch with Isaiah Reese next week.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, when we were down in Vegas, we were talking. We didn't realize we only live like 10 minutes from each other.
Well, would you get us an update on what that relationship of BlazeFire Games looks like and what the plans are?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely will. Like I said, I will talk. I'm going to have lunch with him. We're actually meeting about some personal stuff, but I know he doesn't mind talking. He loves talking about his company and what he's been able to do. And but yeah, I definitely will reach out to him and kind of see where they're at with that, like what he can tell me, and what he can't. And then I'll update you, and you can definitely bring it to your audience.
Yeah, somebody's asking me freedom of speech if I don't have email. I'm assuming you're talking about for medical records transfer, and we do use encrypted emails, but somebody's medical record being, I'm sure it's doable. It's not the way we do it. It's not the way I'm seeing anybody really doing it right now.
I had a question, and I haven't been able to reach out to the devs yet. Maybe you know a little bit more, stackers. I saw that Scott Hamilton, who had a partnership, the ESPN podcaster, with Saitama, has recently signed a deal with Klee. Is he now part of both communities?
I actually don't know too much about that. I remember when they signed him on, but I don't know. I mean, I know they've got Diamond Hands over there too. It's part of their team, but I don't know if those guys are official development team people or if they're really just influencers signed to the project.
Well, Adir's actually become a really good friend of mine too, but he's he was on the Cardano team and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I was just there's so many questions I have to ask. But like, I used to be able to talk to. I'll be honest with you, it's been even tough for me to talk to Russ and all those guys. Like, I used to be able to talk to him like every single day. But since launch, there's just been so much stuff going on that they need to take care of that. It's been extremely hard. So
Yeah. Um, like I say, I've never spoken to any of them. The only person that's associated with the development team I've had an actual conversation with was the real Saitama Queen, Ria.
Yeah, I watched that live stream you had. I like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I imagine that they're really busy. I'm still seeing them out and about. I mean, we haven't seen them in an AMA. They've done some of these Twitter spaces, which are new to me. I'm not really 100% a fan because it's not recorded. So those of us who aren't in there can't go back and review it later to get the information.
Yeah.
And
shout out to Sean. Yeah, me and I met a lot. Like I said, I met a lot of the Wolfpack members in Vegas. We had a pretty memorable night on Friday. It was a blast for the Saitama Wolfpack pre-party we had, and it got a little out of control. But I was happy to be down there. But he was asking you about have you seen kind of what Bud has been saying about price prediction? Your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I haven't seen his specific predictions, but Bud is really a positive person. He's very optimistic, I guess you could say. And sometimes I would say overly optimistic. He had predicted a 2-0 drop to the 5 zeros range at the launch of the Cytomask wallet. And I actually knowing that was a $40 billion market cap to make that happen, I actually told Cuff and the Dip that I would give $10,000 to his channel and another $10,000 to Bud's charity of choice if that happened, because I would have been a millionaire if that happened.
And I'll be honest with you. I think me and you, Dean, are very, very similar when it comes to our predictions. I don't like to do them, to be honest with you, but like I've always been more conservative when it comes to that stuff. And I'll be honest with you, like I knew that, like, I'll be honest, I knew we were going to drop in price. I didn't know that we were going to drop so substantially.
Yeah.
Because like I said before, like you got to remember the big money that moves around on the Ethereum blockchain, they do this and you watch them go from project to project and they buy the rumor and they sell the news and they move on to the next one and they ride the wave again and then they on to the it's just what you see with a lot of these whales.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not much of a trader. I should be. I'm starting to think about it a lot more. But at least with the portion of the wallet, especially because I'm trying to buy back to where I was. And had I sold some, I mean, I didn't see any reason to sell today with the news of us going into this marketing agreement with, the boxer with Gervonta and with the Mayweather group. But then we get caught by surprise this afternoon. So I don't know. But as far as Bud goes, let me just say this. I think Bud is a nice person. I think Bud's a very smart person. He's just super, super optimistic. And I always say, I hope he's right, because if he's right, we all win. But my, I did a price prediction video, and it's all based on math and market cap and looking what's going on with other community tokens. And the only thing that kind of blew mine up was when Shiba Inu went on its run here recently, and they actually achieved a $40 billion market cap. So it's not that it's not possible. It's possible, but they're also listed on multiple additional exchanges now. It's a lot easier to buy Shiba Inu than it is to buy Saitama. And I think Saitama is a better project. I think it has great potential, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know what a price prediction is really worth, honestly. For some people, it's very frustrating if it doesn't come to fruition. And other people, they want to see something like that to get hyped up enough to make a buy. I'm just kind of riding it out one day at a time.
I'm confused. Rick said, "King, plug yourself again, please." I'm a little confused.
Is that Rick Mason?
Yeah.
I'm sure. I don't know what he wants you to plug, just your channel but King is a solid guy, Rick. He's, he's just kind of a sensible approach to all of this stuff and honest. I don't see any reason to be super hyped about it. Just look
No,
at what the facts on the ground are and try to make decisions based on that.
no, and you came on my channel that one time, and I got a very good support, over there. But I've just built my channel just being honest, and I allow, like, to be honest with you, I don't, if people want to come in there, and my platform is for people to be heard. I mean, I don't mind people voicing their frustrations, and I mean, obviously I want people to respect everybody. Like, I've talked about it all the time on my channel. I'm like, listen, we're not always going to feel or think or have the same thoughts as other individuals, but as adults, we can at least have enough respect to just let them have their thoughts and feelings. And you hope in return that they do the same for you. Because, like, as of lately, with all the stuff that's been going on, and I see, you got to understand, people are losing a lot of money. So there's a lot of emotion involved in it. And, people, how would I want to say it? I allow people to have that spot also in my channel to, get whatever they need to get off their chest. Obviously, reasonably. We don't, like I said, there's no reason for people to attack other individuals. Obviously, and like I tell people, like, I've been talking to several developers from several projects, including Saitama. And, as a community, we're supposed to uphold ourselves to a higher level, I believe. I'm part of the several communities that are very great communities. And also, as a content creator, I hold myself to a higher level also. I'll be honest with you. And I make it part of my, channel to tell people, like, it's okay to diversify. It's okay to be in several different communities, because there's been so much of this us against them mentality going around. And it's really, truly not. We're all in this space for one thing, and that's to obtain some sort of success and financial stability or freedom, whatever word you like to use. And, like, that's why I've been talking to so many developers from so many great projects, because I believe that if we can start this, the developers behind these projects can send a very powerful message. If we see projects and developers working together and collaborating on things, whether it's, obviously the easiest one would be charitable, and giving back is great. Or if there's similar use cases, maybe they can have a collaboration or some that sends a powerful message to the whole crypto space that, guess what, guys, we can all succeed and obtain financial stability and freedom. It's not us against them. It's all of us searching for success.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I've said it a bunch of times. Like, for some reason, people treat these token investments in communities like it's your wife or your husband or your girlfriend or your boyfriend. And if you have more than one, you're a big cheating a-hole,
Yeah.
It just isn't how it works. It's just an investment. It doesn't have feelings. But I am passionate about the Saitama community. I was a proud SHIB Army member for a long time. I've actually invested that back into Saitama because I think at the time when I made that decision, I felt like there was more headspace or upside potential in Saitama. But I'm not opposed to getting back into SHIB. It's one of the only investments with the non-doxed dev team that I would consider, Bitcoin being the other one, because I'm just tired of all the rug pulls and the crazy, and it's not going to work for me to have the non-doxed dev team going forward. Adam, thanks for the super chat. This question's come up a couple of times. So they're talking about the token supply. So Adam, I'm not sure I 100% understand this, but basically what happened here is these hackers came in, they stole a bunch of coins, different types. Help me out here, King, if I'm wrong, but then they went and liquidated them. Like they sold them all out for Ethereum. So we've purchased those back in. The supply will be reduced by the amount of the just the standard burn. And your reflections, if you look at them today, are really high. So the token supply shouldn't really have changed much besides just slightly decreasing due to the the burn. And then if Bitmart has to replace those, which I hope they do, or they have insurance or something like that to cover it, if they have to buy all those back, that should create another event of, reflections and burn.
I seen somebody was saying that there's been like 1.5 quad burn in the last 12 hours. I know that it was close to 600 trillion that got stolen of Saitama. There were several other tokens, obviously. It equated to like $6.57 million in Ethereum. But somebody else did say that they said that I haven't looked yet, but I saw somebody in the chat say earlier that Bitmart was already buying again, and I'm sure they do have some type of insurance.
Yeah, I don't know.
The problem is,
they ought to be buying it.
Here's the problem that I foresee is that if you go on and look, there's only like 200 some trillion tokens available on Uniswap. So I don't know if they would have to buy tokens from the liquidity pool, because I think that's sometimes why tokens will keep a small percentage of the liquidity unlocked. I don't know though. Like, don't quote me on it. Like if it was like 600 trillion tokens that got stolen from other customers and they have to pay them back, I just know that I saw what was available on Uniswap is only like 200 like something trillion. So I don't know exactly how that would work.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that one either, to be totally transparent. I just don't know. I don't understand the centralized exchanges really well. I know that you don't actually own your tokens when you're in a centralized exchange. They're inside a liquidity pool and you're basically sharing those.
Yeah.
So they're held in trust. That's the word I've been looking for all night, actually, for you. So if those all got wiped out, I would imagine they have to recreate that. And yeah, I don't know where they go get them from, because it's not like there's a magical supply of unsold tokens out there they can go buy. They're going to have to buy them from somebody who already owns them. So that's more than likely us, the wolf pack who's buying the dip.
Somebody said, if you have to buy tokens, Sean, if you have to buy tokens again, is there a different burn since the first round bought was burned now? They have to buy again. Yeah, well, it's going to be the same tokenomics.
Yeah, I mean, the burned wall. Let's just let me share my screen really quick here, and I'll just pull it up for you. So, so here, if we're looking at, this is crypto.com, which I don't use as much as I used to because of the deal that went down with Willie D. But for this illustration, it's probably going to be a little bit cleaner to show.
You said you don't use CMC no more?
I don't use it as much as I used to because I wasn't really clear on what happened there. When they put up the deal about Willie D that happened back like 10 years ago, I was just like, why would they do that? I don't understand what happened there still. And it sounded like that there might be looking for some recourse on them over the big dip that happened. But
I know somebody had said, came out and made a video saying that it was actually coded in, that it wasn't a paid advertisement.
So it may have been an inside deal. So two things here. The first one, somebody asked about this earlier. When is the market cap going to be official? And the truth is, I don't know. They still have the little caution sign that says that this is the market cap we're reporting. And all that is essentially the fully diluted market cap multiplied by the percentage of tokens remaining, which is like 44%. So if you go to holders and take a peek at this, every time those tokens burn, they go straight into this dead wallet. So this dead wallet now has almost 56% of the total. Etherscan actually shows this at much closer to 56%. So if this top wallet right here sold $100,000, $2,000 of that would get burned and $2,000 of it would get redistributed in reflections, of which this top wallet would end up getting 55% of those reflections, if my understanding of that is correct. But once they're in there, they're gone. So then just the remaining token quantity, you have to think about this as kind of tricky because there's a US dollar value to the tokens and then there's the token quantity. So if the price doubles, it takes half as many tokens to have the same market cap. So you can always burn more tokens. And people say, well, what if the token supply runs out?
It
Well,
never
it's
does.
never going to run out because you can burn fractions of tokens at a certain point. Like Bitcoin, you can buy $10 of Bitcoin, but one Bitcoin costs close to 50,000 now. I think it rebounded today pretty well.
Yeah, like I know I've heard people say that, but yeah, like Russ confirmed that when he was on my live AMA also that the token supply will never run out. Even if it got down to one token, it just never would.
Yeah, they call it infinitely fractionable. They're infinitely fractionable. You can always divide them, subdivide them smaller and smaller. What would end up happening is the reverse of what it looks like with if you think of the price of Saitama right now and the token quantity, we have this massive token quantity, 44 quadrillion, and a price that's 7 zeros for something right now. Those will just switch places where your token quantity will be really small, possibly even fractional at a point, and your price would be massive. So you can't run out. You can always divide, you know.
Somebody said, will we be able to buy another crypto with our credit card on Cytomask or just Saitama?
That's a good question. I don't know. Will we be able to buy Saitama with a credit card? That's not coming till version 1.2 also, from what I understand. So once we can get them to show us buying crypto with credit card, which I've done in several other platforms, so it's obviously very doable. But usually on those ones, what you end up doing is buying like the native token that you're going to be swapping from. So I always end up buying Ethereum,
Yeah.
and buying ERC20 tokens.
Yeah, that's what I do usually if like I'm on Trust Wallet or any of those other wallets.
Christine, how are you? I wish you were in here moderating earlier. We have a lot of nasty spam going on there for a minute, but it's good to have you in.
Yeah,
So,
there's definitely been a lot of that as of lately, and
well, people are angry, and I think rightly so in
yeah,
some ways. I mean, we've missed some expectations, um, things that are within the development team's control and things that are out of their control. I mean, the information has been within their control, and then once it's out there, it's out of their control. You know, with Certic, there's nothing they could have done. The deal that happened this week with Russell, where he talked about something big is coming, then his hands got tied. Then he kind of said, we'll talk about it tomorrow. But then there were 2 days of silence, you know, and people just started getting anxious and getting revved up. But now they're delivering. And that's the thing I keep coming back to is I've been watching this since the middle of August, and everything that Russell has said from then until now has come to fruition with the exception of 2 things. One is the Cytomask wallet, and we know that's going to come to fruition or it's going to fail miserably. I mean, that's the only 2 options. I'm assuming it's going to come to fruition because it's not like they give you a pass fail, and if you fail, you're done. Certic will locate potential issues with Cytomask, notify the development team, who will rectify those and have it re-audited in those portions. The only other thing I can think of is KuCoin. And I don't know what happened with KuCoin and why it hasn't come through yet, but I've got an inkling that if we stay in the top 100 like we are, we're going to be listed on every major exchange. I mean, there's no reason they wouldn't want to list us. It's math. I mean, it's money. Why would they? Nobody turns away money. Very few people. I mean, you could say on principle, there are people who turn away money, but in the business world, if you've got a widget to sell, you don't really care who's buying. You're just selling widgets.
and I'll state my personal opinion because I'm, for those who know me, like I always speak my mind. Like, and I said, this is my personal opinion and my thoughts and what I've gathered from our development team, especially our CEO Russ. We know how his personal thoughts on centralized exchanges are, and I think because of what our main use case is going to be, I personally, like I said, this is my own opinion, and everybody has the right to, their own. I think there's been kind of some breaking when it comes to, getting listed on more, obviously, bigger exchanges. Because, I mean, I look at it from a business standpoint. I mean, our platform is essentially, very similar. Obviously, we have a lot more things that are going to be on it, and we're going to continue to grow. Uh, but from a business standpoint, I look at it like you just take so much revenue and volume from your own platform.
Yeah, true. It's true. But the more volume we get going out there, I think the better it is for the coin at the same time. I mean, for me personally, I'm not getting anything from the Side of Mask wallet, right?
Well, they will have the social aspect to it for like social media influencers and stuff like that, where from kind of what I've
Well,
heard in the works.
and maybe that's not fair because you can also stake your tokens and get a portion of the rewards that Side of Mask
Yeah.
is producing. So I stand corrected, but it's just for me, the more volume there is out there, the more trading action there is. If we could get Shiba's volume, their volume is in the billions of dollars, tens of billions of dollars sometimes.
My
So
thing is, what I'm looking more interested in actually really seeing is the fees behind it. And
yeah,
that's because I've heard so many different things from different individuals, from either from the core team or from, the team surrounding the core team. I mean, I've heard anything from basically no fees to now, to the newest one, it's going to be the cheapest out there. So
right. Well, and
does that mean it's going to be, significantly cheaper where it's, almost nothing, or is it going to be literally like 1 cent cheaper? Like,
yeah, the problem with that statement right now is it's an ERC20 token. So these have to be exchanged on the Ethereum blockchain.
yeah,
So you can't get around the gas fees right now, which is the problem with crypto. I don't care if they charge me $5 to make a trade, that it's the gas fees that are just crushing us right now. So whatever this V2 of Ethereum is that's supposed to help with this, hopefully they get that under control. Because I mean, I've done some like Harmony blockchain. I did a trade on there. I got Ikura, and it was fractions of pennies that the gas fees were to make that trade. So
I see.
this Crow one keeps coming back up. They talked about maybe seeing us listed on crypto.com. And it is kind of interesting that this fight is happening in the crypto.com arena, or what will be the crypto.com arena, Staples Center. I don't know if there's something there, or if it's just happenstance.
I'm wondering if Rick is speaking to me. I would really like to know. I can address that definitely, but if he's definitely speaking to me about selling for a profit, I have no idea.
I don't know either.
If you're in the crypto space I mean, isn't that why we're all here eventually? We're all investors to eventually take profits from our investments.
Yeah, there's no hate on Rick, Drew. I love Rick. He knows I love him. He's a good guy. We actually are talking about getting together here in summer next year. I don't know if he's definitely not speaking to me, but King's Broadcast, he's just been around for about 8 weeks now, doing lives and videos and covering crypto. He's a good guy, solid dude, and he's right. We're investing for a profit. So I don't think anybody, there isn't any like secret there, right? Otherwise, we would just keep our money under the mattress where it's safe. Because emotionally speaking, right now, this market it's kicking my butt. I can tell you that.
And I'll be honest with you, I'll address it. If most people that are from the Wolfpack that support me, I got like almost 1,000 subscribers from a lot of OGs, day ones that have been around since the beginning. And I've had to sell. I was hospitalized for over a month, had multiple surgeries. I was away from work, and I thank God every day that I invested in Saitama, because Saitama literally put me in a position where I could pay my bills while I was going through all my medical conditions. And it also put me in a position where I was able to start streaming and purchase my equipment that I have. Obviously, I'm not at home right now. This ain't my studio, but, put me in a position where I can have a different platform to connect with, everybody I consider my crypto family. So.
Yeah. And Drew's right. Drew's talking about emotions right now. Emotions are high. It's been a rough go out there. It really has. I mean, even somebody, because I've been saying for a long time, crypto's not for everybody because it is very volatile. It can be very volatile, but we've been experiencing volatility on the downside for consistently now going on like almost 4 weeks. And then you've had these little incidents smattered into it that are, whether you want to call it FUD or missteps or whatever the things are, they've just exacerbated the problem and made the emotions run even higher.
See, and that's the type of stuff I like. Like Luis said, he paid off a 22K student loan with Saitama. I love hearing those type of stories.
Yeah. I haven't paid anything off. I've actually never sold Saitama. I've given away a shitload. 500 billion was the answer to that question. But I've never sold any yet. And I still have a belief that I'm going to get back on top here and do really well. And I will be selling some eventually. There's no point in holding it eternally. I mean, at some point you've got to, take care of yourself, your bills, your family, or invest in other projects.
I see Ashley just popped in. Hi, Ashley. Stoner
doing,
J,
Ashley?
appreciate all the support. Definitely Stoner. L also. I see a lot of people that come in onto my platform and watch my live streams also. So
yeah, the nice. Wolfpack audience is just amazing. I see people in everybody's content and then making their own contributions too, like Ashley out on Twitter. I see her and she does a lot of good things. You can tell she's really active in the community.
Yeah, actually got to meet Ashley and her husband in Vegas. It was nice.
So I missed that Vegas event. I was actually in North Carolina doing a franchise meeting for a business that we're bringing into to our local area here.
Hi, Christine, as always.
Yeah, Christine's a bomb.
She's I remember watching her before I even started doing content. Like I was in everybody's live streams, like supporting everybody, and I still do. But man, she would be in like 4 different live streams at the same time. I'm like, you must have 2 phones and a PlayStation going on in a computer.
Yeah, and she's catching all the comments and putting people in timeouts and just keeping the FUD down to a minimum, So, yeah, you got to love her. And really the whole Wolfpack community for the most part is great. There's a few people who have been, lashed out a little bit here and there, but I think that's all part of this deal. It's an emotional journey. And ultimately, you're the only person who knows what's the best thing to do for yourself. That's why everybody says we're not financial advisors. Do your own research before you invest. It's just, that sounds like lip service or something that, and it is kind of a disclaimer, but more than that, you're the only one who knows what's best for you. So if you're in at a certain point, you need to sell at another point, or you can't take it anymore, the downside pressure, and you got to get out for your own mental well-being and health. Just do what you need to do. And, the stuff will work itself out.
I see some, where'd it go now? I just saw it. Swing Trader said got over 16 trillion tokens at time. Imagine losing $1 million in over a month. You know what? I will say one of the biggest whales inside Tama, who a lot of us know he's also a content creator. Also, when he came out and he publicly told everybody, because like a lot of people obviously know who he is and he's one of the biggest holders, and he came out and just told people like, hey, when that dip happened, he lost $60 million and he's still holding strong. That tells you a lot about somebody's character and how much they believe in a project.
You're going to have to DM me that one because I don't know who that is. I didn't see that content.
Oh, you didn't see it when he posted on his Twitter?
I missed it. I can tell you, losing anything is a bummer, but it really is. It's kind of the nature of the beast. And where did you start from too? I know from where I started, I'm still 10x my investment, even after what's going on right now. I'm still in a good place. It's just, this is tough. It's tough seeing yourself hit a peak and then back off of that. That's tough. 800K to 200K. Yeah, that's brutal, man. Brutal. Romir, thank you for the little super chat there. I appreciate it. And I am working my way back to my trillion token position. That's my goal.
Yeah, swing trader must have been in pretty early. 1K to 2.3 or 2.35.
Man.
You got Cal in the building. Cal Alden. That's an OG right there.
Yeah. How you doing, Cal? Thanks for coming in. Well, how you guys feeling, man? I'm actually I'm gonna have to go pick my daughter up here. She's out with some friends, but she doesn't have a driver's license. She's my last non-driving child, so I'm probably gonna have to shut her down. Any burning questions you guys have out there for King?
Yeah, anything you want to know, like I'm an open book. I always answer any questions that come my way, regardless, crypto, not crypto. My platform is obviously built around Saitama. Saitama was why I built my channel, and but I've also used my platform to have community members on there. I've had several community members come on there and tell us their stories, and it just gives the community another way to get to know other holders, other Wolfpack brothers and sisters. So
Yeah. I've kind of been the same way. It's just been amazing to meet people and to feel the support from people of all walks of life, all countries of the world. It's crazy. The audience is like completely international and so many good people out there. I appreciate your love and support.
I can answer these real quick. Somebody said, "Who is your NFL team?" I'm from Minneapolis, so the Minnesota Vikings. Unfortunately, and it's been a rough 30 plus years on this earth watching my team do what they do some years. So and then somebody else said, "What's a good amount to hold?" I mean, to be honest with you, like they always say, and I hate this, to sound like just everybody else, but people will tell you all the time, never invest more than you could afford to lose. This is the crypto space, and we all know that it's any given day that anything can happen on this platform.
Yeah,
and that's why to get back to what people are talking about, they paid certain things off. I think it's a smart investor. Smart investors take profits on the way.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. I'm not smart. I haven't taken any profits. I'm on the hodl part.
You got plenty of time. Saitama's got a lot of growth.
Well, and I've started to diversify into lots of different projects, and I'm hoping for another one that will go well. I'm going to answer this question just to end things. And the question is, what are the chances things go up like crazy tonight at this event? If we're talking about the boxing match, the truth is, I think it's going to be massive exposure. I think that the upside pressure will come from a lot of us who are already in the project. This is just my personal opinion. I don't think that people watching are going to dive bomb in because the learning curve is still high. If these people know nothing about crypto, they're going to have to come in, figure out how to establish a wallet, fund a wallet, get onto a swap, and make an exchange. But those who are in the crypto space already, I could see us adding some new holders. I really thought this week that we would. My videos from the beginning of the week, I'm saying I think we're going to see an increase in volume and holder count, and an accelerating growth rate hasn't happened because of what went down. We couldn't get all the information out. But tomorrow, people are going to see it. There's going to be a lot of eyes on this thing, and it's a demonstration of what the development team is able to do. They've added some people that aren't necessarily officially on the development team, but this Terry Briggs, he's a mover and a shaker. They got Michael Thompson out there making big moves. And if they can put this kind of a deal together, what else can they do? The future is bright for Saitama. I'm excited about it. I do think there'll be some upside price here going on as everybody figures out what's going on with this Bitmart, hack and realize, okay, this is a great opportunity to buy. The price is down. So that's my thought. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and shut this one down. I love you guys, but if I don't pick my daughter up, people are going to think that I'm like a bad dad.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, Stacker. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. And, I know you got a great platform over here and a great support, and great family members. Like I said, I consider all my supporters part of my family, so appreciate you having me on here. And I'll stay on for a minute in the back room after you go on.
Yeah, I'll chat you for a second.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, appreciate your time, and have a great night. Nothing but peace and love.